After nearly 40 years of collecting baseball cards, 2023 was the year I decided to finally fill up all the leaky holes in my dike of a collection. And then I did the stupidest thing of all. I started a YouTube channel. Back in January of 2023, in the cold depths of winter before pitchers and catchers report, I took out one of my 60s and 70s albums and flipped through. I stopped at the 1972 team set and realized that I didn't have the 1972 Topps Denny Doyle, number 768. I didn't have it because it's a high number and it's tough to track down. And though I had been a constant collector, I'd been a slow and lazy collector that focused on the low-hanging fruit, lumbering between years and sets, slowly picking up whatever was interesting and cheap, and not paying much attention to completeness. Denny Doyle was a forgettable ballplayer, so I forgot about him. To rectify the situation, I jumped on eBay and sourced the 72 Doyle. But then I thought, how many cards am I actually missing from these 70-some years of team sets? It turns out, a lot. So in the spring of 2023, I focused my collecting. I made lists, checked databases, and came up with a game plan to fill all the leaky holes in my cardboard dike. After the Doyle came a few cards from 67, again high numbers. The 67 Bunning was too expensive, so I focused on the Rojas and the Gonzalez. In 1966, I was missing the Roger Craig, again a high number, and card 591, which bulged my eyes a bit when I looked up prices. I needed the 52 high numbers too. See the pattern? Through my years of casual acquisitions, I collected what was easy. The high numbers are hard. They're not all super expensive, but they are frustratingly hard to find in many cases. They don't come up a lot on eBay. My local card store never had them. They can be difficult to find at card shows, too. Add to that the proclivity in the modern market to immediately send any high number in for grading, and I concluded I needed to up my collecting game. So I took my list to the Dallas Card Show in May and landed some 52 high numbers, including the 52 Smokey Burgess described in episode 14. At card shows in Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri, I befriended some dealers. I gave them my contact info, my budget, and my wish list. And the cards slowly started to roll in. Same thing with my local card store. I visited several times in short succession during low traffic times, spent a good while chatting with them, bought some cards and some supplies to establish trust, and then left my wish list with them too. With dealers in 4 states looking out for me, I found more success. I found the 1952 Ken Heinzelman, and then a second one in much better condition. A Missouri dealer found the 67 Jim Bunning for me. The 67 Grant Jackson, card 591, came from a show. Things were picking up steam. I filled in the commons that I didn't have for whatever reason, quickly and cheaply, and even found junk wax cards that I had never heard of. In 1990, there were debut sets. I had no idea. So I got the debut sets in 90 and 91. And I picked up the 1994 Topps traded cards online on Mercari, a site I had never used before. With my plan successfully completing itself, I made the decision to start this YouTube channel so I could engage with my cards in a new way. I'm one of those guys who reads the backs. I like the facts, the trivia, I like the stats. I like to see who got good card numbers, and started to share that information with you all. I began with 2 subscribers, my wife and my dad, and slowly but surely, more of you came. More than 500 subscribers now. And if you're watching and aren't subscribed, well, I'd appreciate it if you would. And then maybe tell a friend about this channel, where an idiosyncratic Phillies baseball card collector tells eloquent stories about baseball, collecting, and life. For my birthday, I got the Ashburn rookie, one of the few missing whales. After a bonus from work, I got the Roberts rookie. Check out those videos for the full stories. That left just a few more cards to go, and I was running out of 2023. The 1953 Bowman black and white Jim Constanti finally came, detailed in episode 22, as did the 49 Bowman Dick Sisler. That just left one card to go before I had complete Phillies team sets from 1948 to 2023. I consider my team sets complete when I have every player featured on a card that year. So 1955, for example, is a mix of Bowman and Topps. But I've got all the players. 1983 includes Julio Franco here, who was only available in the Donruss set. 1981 includes this card from 1994, as Ryne Sandberg's first card was with the Cubs, despite the fact he had debuted in 81 with the Phillies. So anyway, I was one card short, and it was another friggin' high number. The 1949 Bowman Stan Lapata, card 177. In the meantime, I made videos of my favorite players like Schmidt, Carlton, and Ashburn. I made videos of interesting baseball stories like Curt Flood and free agency, and Dick Allen's fight with Frank Thomas, and videos of my card collecting adventures, which proved to be the most popular. I even tried my hand at a bit of fiction with the 500 subscriber special, which was an original short story. It was such fun and a welcome distraction from my work. My wife was happily supportive of it all, and as a result, my young son showed interest in cards for the first time. When we got into October and the Phillies were in the playoffs, my son would ask to look at the cards from a certain decade while we watched.
Hey, Dada, let's look at the 80s cards.
And then I found the Stan Lapata, and in beautiful condition. This card represents the completion of a year-long project, but also the completion of a lifelong project. And it comes with all the satisfaction of finally scratching an itch you couldn't quite reach. This is Stan Lapata's rookie card. He was a long-time backup catcher for the Phils. He was a whiz kid. He was a fan favorite. And though he died in 2013, he lives on in my collection and in so many others. Welcome, Stan. You are the final keystone, the final brick in my walkway to collecting heaven. But that doesn't mean I'm done. Happenstance and good fortune have brought pre-war cards my way, so I've officially begun Phase 2, reaching back into the play balls and into the Goudies, into the T205s, and hopefully the T206s and the Cracker Jacks too. Also, Topps 2024 Series 1 is due out in just a few months, so my collection, though complete, will never be complete. It will keep expanding into the future and into the past. I know that it is impossible to get every modern parallel and insert from the ever-expanding set offerings, but those cards will come too with time. And I've got a lot more of that, hopefully. My baseball cards are to me like an old friend. A friend I had when I was a kid, when I did kid things. A friend I had in my early adult years who understood that girls were more important. A friend that has stuck with me through middle age and kids and a family and a career. A friend that always listens and doesn't judge. Old friends are great that way. You can go long periods without contact, but then pick things right back up when you reconnect, as if the time in between didn't exist. So as we close out 2023, and I close out Season 3 here on Baseball Card Stories, I'd like to thank you for coming along the journey. My old friends, Joe, Aaron, Eric, and Cliff, and you, my new friends. Hopefully, one day, you'll be an old friend too. Thanks for watching. May your whiskey always be double poured. And tune in next year for more baseball card stories, legends, and more.